friends, this is Caitlin. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be spreading some love with a fun Galentine's Day card. This one's going to be a mini slimline and a scene card. I don't know about you, but Valentine's Day is not my favorite holiday, but I do love spreading love to my friends whenever I can. So I'm going to be combining the Sweet November gal Noelle in her cutesy little robe with the Simple Room scene builder to build this really fun and cozy winter scene. There's going to be a giveaway for Sweet November stamps later on, and I'll explain all of the details in a couple minutes when we jump into the coloring. But first, I just wanted to walk you through my layout for my card and kind of this process. If you are newer to scenes, the stamping and masking process can be a little bit daunting, but this one was actually super simple. So you always want to start with the image that is closest to you. So for us, that is Noelle. I'm stamping her into place. Because she's looking to the right, I put her more off to the left of the card, so that way it doesn't look like she's just staring completely off and her back is almost to us. It kind of helps to just pull us into her scene. And then what I did was I stamped the bottom part of her, mostly her feet, onto a full stick post-it note. I fussy cut that out and just covered up her feet and the bottom of her robe. I put in a ruler there just to line my card panel up with in the MISTI, so that I could make sure that my stamp laid flat across the whole surface of my MISTI, and that my paper wasn't pushed up against the edge where it would kind of cut off. They make inserts, acrylic inserts and stuff for the MISTI to do that for you. I don't have those though. So I have found that using a magnetic ruler or anything like that, I've even used scrap cardstock before just to hold its place, works just as well. Then I went over and stamped the floor and the baseboard with that whole area masked, and that puts it immediately behind our figure. And then my last step didn't involve any masking. I just stamped this frame. I believe it's technically a picture frame, but we are going to turn it into a window today. I stamped that off into the corner, so she could kind of be looking out the window. She could be kind of looking past the window. We're just going to take creative license on this one and say she's looking at the window, through the window. So I am going in now with my Copic coloring. As always, I have all of my caps on the screen for you, and I will make sure that I have all of the colors listed down in the description box for you in case anything goes by too quickly. I did try to limit my color palette as much as I could with this one. It's definitely less than some of the other more detailed scenes that I've been doing recently, but I did have fun coloring this one up and kind of giving her a Valentine's festive feel without specifically putting Valentine anywhere on the card. So now that we're into the coloring process, I'm going to take a moment to do two things. One, I want to say thank you to anyone who is watching this who is a new subscriber. Thank you to anybody who's a subscriber, first of all, but a special thank you to anyone who's new because of the video that I put out earlier this week. I was blown away by the response that I got to that video. I was sharing my first year recap of my YouTube and my social media and what I made in that first year of 2022. And the response was overwhelming and so positive. And I just want to thank anyone who left a nice comment, anyone who watched, anybody who subscribed based off of that video. I'm literally at a loss for words, so thank you. And then the second thing that I want to do is tell you about this giveaway. So I am a member of the Sweet November Stamps design team, and as such, I have been lucky enough that they have offered me up a couple gift cards to give away. So the way that my giveaway is going to work this time is in the past, I've had people just leave me comments, but I've had a very difficult time getting a hold of the winner to tell them that they won and actually getting them their gift card. So I'm going to be giving away two $25 gift cards to the Sweet November Stamps store, and those will be good for digital stamps as well as the physical clear stamps, whatever makes you happy. And they also do ship internationally. But if you don't want to have to worry about that and you prefer digis, go for it. But I'm going to ask for you to enter. You're going to need to like this video, make sure you're subscribed, and then there's going to be a Google survey down in the description box linked. I'll put it right at the top. That's going to just have you fill out basic information. Literally, all I need is your first name and your email. I will not spam email you. I will not sell your email to anyone. I will not even email you unless you are one of the 2 winners. I am just so nervous about people being scammy. And I've seen lots of other card makers talking about people on YouTube getting comments from someone pretending to be the creator, saying like, hey, reach out to me, you won, and then stealing people's information. So this seems to be the safest way for us to do this. I will I'll announce the winners here in the comments like I usually do when it's over. But I will also then email the winners directly. That way I can email you your gift card as well. So all that being said, this giveaway is going to be open until Tuesday, January 17th at 5 p.m. Eastern. And at that time, by 7 o'clock that night, I will have the winner announced over here and I will email the winners. Sorry, winners. I'm not used to being able to give away multiple things. I will email the winners and I will announce them here in the comments by 7 p.m. on Tuesday, January 17th. So I hope that's really clear. All the rules and guidelines and all that stuff will be down in the description for you too. I hope you're excited. I'm super excited. I just feel like January, for a lot of us, December and November are times for us to focus on our families and our communities and, all of that stuff. And sometimes we overlook ourselves. So I really just thought that January would be a lovely time to give away some gift cards so that you could take some time to treat yourself and get some new fun stamps to play with. So there you go. Okay. I colored in the floor here with some really warm brown golden colors. This is definitely a trust the process moment when it comes to floors for me. Most of the time, once I start, I think I've made the floor look like bacon. But once you go over all of the layers of your wood grain with all the colors, it just kind of pulls everything together and helps to really make it all make sense and look more like wood grain and less like bacon. And now I'm going in to shade her robe. I wanted it to be pink. I did definitely, like I said, want this to be a Valentine's Day, Galentine's Day kind of color theme. And we are going to put little hearts on her jammies, which will help to kind of seal that in too without actually having to write like Happy Valentine's Day. So this is me creating that pattern. I'm literally just taking my marker and making almost like a V shape, but because they're so small, they definitely read as hearts. Then I'm also going to go in next with a white gel pen and create just some little dots around that'll help kind of build it up as a pattern. The other cool thing that you want to do when you're building patterns onto clothing like this is to make sure that not every single one is facing the same direction, and make sure that not all of your elements are fully seen. So there were a couple places where I put just a partial part of the heart where the fold is at the ankle and then up against the robe in a few spots, and that just helps to create that idea that the pattern continues on the whole piece even where you don't see it. So once I had her all colored in, I decided to create this kind of frosty morning scene in our window pane. And so I went in with some very light blues to shade in my snow. Then I went in with some very light yellows to create that sunrise. To counterbalance that, because I had already used blues on the snow and I didn't want everything to just be blue, I wanted to bring in some more color to the piece besides just the pink of her robe. So I went in with some really light BV markers for the sky to contrast against that sun, and I think it turned out so beautiful. And then I just grabbed a E marker If you've seen some of my videos the last couple weeks, I've been having crazy things happen with my Copics. All my caps have been leaking this like clear fluid, and I don't know if it's colorless blender. I don't know if it's alcohol. I don't know if it's water. Some of them stopped doing it this last week. Some of them, like this one, are still doing it. So I know it looks weird watching it and it's kind of distracting, but I don't know what else to do where I can still keep the lids in so that you can see what color I'm using. So I'm working on it. I'm trying to figure out what's happening. For all of those who left me suggestions, I promise I'm storing them on their sides. Copic says it shouldn't matter anyway, but I am storing them on their sides, so I really am at a loss. I don't know what's happening. So I went in with a lighter brown just to add a few little sticks and wispy grassy bits in the snow and then up against the tree. And then I decided that this still looked like a frame and not a window. So now I'm going in with a ruler and a Copic marker, and I'm creating a thicker, bold black line on the bottom, and then just a hair up from that, I'm going to add another line, and I'm going to fill in that space with white gel pen. And because I'm going to be die cutting part of this anyway, I'm going to cut out my whole scene. It really does sell it as a window pane to me. I love how it turned out. So I think that's a great shortcut, or a great way to kind of use maybe just a rectangle stamp you might have and turn it into a window if you need. So for a card base, I decided to go with pink, again, just to bring in a little bit more color. So I cut my panel down to 7 by 6 and scored it at 3.5. So that my end card dimensions, my mini slimlines are always 3.5 by 6. And I'm using the Hello Bluebirds Deckle nesting dies that are the mini slimline size. For my sentiment, I started out with a different front sentiment than I ended up keeping. These are reverse sentiments from Simon Says Stamp and I believe Kathy Zilski. So I left the ones on the inside. I thought that I was happy with my card with that dream big, but then I took a couple minutes and came back to it. It was just too heavy for the rest of the scene. And so I dug through my stash and I found this sentiment pack from Stamping Bella, and it is perfect. So I left the inside the way it was. I swapped out the sentiment on the front, and I'm so happy. So make sure that if you're interested in winning one of those 2 gift cards, you go ahead and enter that giveaway, fill out the survey down below in the description. I am so grateful that you came to hang out with me today. I hope this inspires you to spread some love to your friends. I hope you have an amazing week, and as always, happy crafting.